When did you have to choose between following orders and doing what's right? Iraq, 2007. I was a combat medic attached to an infantry unit. My job was keeping our guys alive. Simple mission. Clear priorities. We'd just raided a suspected weapons cache in a small village. Found 3 insurgents hiding in a basement. They'd been shooting at us for 20 minutes before we captured them. 2 were fine. Third guy had taken shrapnel from a grenade. Not life-threatening, but bleeding pretty bad. Needed stitches and antibiotics. My lieutenant was a guy named Brennan. Good officer most of the time, but he had zero sympathy for enemy fighters. His best friend got killed by an IED 2 months earlier. I started setting up to treat the wounded prisoner. Standard procedure. Geneva Conventions require medical care for detainees regardless of who they are. Brennan stopped me. Pack up your gear, Russell. We're moving out. I looked at him confused. Sir, this guy needs treatment. Won't take more than 15 minutes. He's insurgent trash. Let him bleed. That's an order. The other guys in my squad shifted uncomfortably. Nobody said anything. Orders were orders. But I'd been trained that medical ethics come first. You treat everyone who needs help. Enemy or friendly. That's the standard. Sir, regulations say I have to provide aid to all wounded personnel in custody. Brennan got right in my face. Listen carefully, Specialist. That piece of garbage was trying to kill us 30 minutes ago. He doesn't deserve our supplies or our time. We're leaving now. The wounded guy was conscious, watching us argue. Couldn't understand English, but he knew what was happening. His eyes were scared. My squad leader, Corporal Wade, pulled me aside. Russell, don't make this a problem. Lieutenant still messed up about losing his friend. Just follow orders. I stood there holding my medical bag, looking at this bleeding prisoner. Maybe 20 years old. Could have been me in different circumstances. The right choice was obvious, but so were the consequences. If I disobeyed Brennan directly, I'd face disciplinary action. Maybe an Article 15, possibly end my career. My squad would see me as the guy who doesn't follow orders. But if I left this kid to bleed out, I'd be violating everything I'd been trained to do as a medic, breaking international law, becoming the kind of soldier I'd always promised myself I wouldn't be. I made my choice. Sir, with respect, I'm treating this prisoner. It's my legal and ethical obligation as a medic. Brennan's face went red. That's a direct order, Russell. You're refusing? I'm following the Army regulation that requires medical personnel to provide care. If you want to write me up, that's your right. But I'm doing my job. The whole squad went silent. Nobody refused orders like this, especially not a junior enlisted guy talking back to an officer. I knelt down and started treating the wounded fighter. Cleaned the shrapnel wound, stitched it up, gave him antibiotics from my kit. Took maybe 12 minutes total. Brennan watched the whole time, jaw clenched. When I finished, he said, "You just earned yourself a formal counseling. Possibly worse." We loaded the prisoners in the truck and headed back to base. The ride was dead quiet. I figured my military career was over. At base, Brennan went straight to the company commander, Captain Sterling. I got called in 20 minutes later, expected to get destroyed. Instead, Sterling listened to both sides. Then he made his ruling. Lieutenant Brennan, the specialist was correct. Medical personnel are required by law to treat wounded detainees. Russell followed proper procedure. Brennan started to argue, but Sterling cut him off. I understand your feelings about the enemy. We all do, but we're professional soldiers, not revenge killers. The rules exist for a reason. Turned to me. Specialist Russell, you made the right call. Took guts to stand up to your platoon leader. That's the kind of integrity we need. Brennan got a formal reprimand for ordering me to violate regulations. Didn't hurt his career long term, but it was a mark on his record. The weird part? 2 weeks later, Brennan pulled me aside. Russell, I was wrong. Been thinking about my friend too much, letting anger make my decisions. He shook my hand. You've got more discipline than I did that day. Thank you for not letting me become someone I'd regret. 6 months later, our patrol got hit by an ambush. Brennan took a bullet in the leg. I was the medic who treated him in the field, kept him from bleeding out. As I worked on his wound, he said, "Glad you're the kind of medic who doesn't leave people to bleed, even angry lieutenants who don't deserve it." That day in the village taught me something important. Following orders matters, but some orders are wrong, and you've got to have the courage to say so. The right choice isn't always the easy one, but it's still the right choice.